There's a brewing showdown on Capitol Hill over efforts to block the release of those terrorist interrogation photos. Democrats are fighting to remove a provision in a bill that would prohibit releasing the photos. Fox News contributor Bob Beckel was Walter Mondale's campaign manager. Trent Duffy was deputy assistant to President Bush, and they are here to argue this one out. This is a little unusual, Bob. Explain something to me. You've got the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. You've got the President, Barack Obama, saying, we don't want those photos released. And now comes the Speaker of the House, also a Democrat, Nancy Pelosi, says, let's put them out there. How does that work?
Well, I tell you, first of all, John, I am going to look forward to telling my kids I lived through the pandemic.
Thank you.
And so are you, I hope.
Hope we all do.
But listen, hey, look, that's exactly right. Look, the fact is that Nancy Pelosi's got a different constituency here. She's got a progressive wing of her party up there, which is fairly dominant. And these people have sat back on the war in Iraq. And frankly, with Barack Obama, they think, who ran against the war, really hasn't changed much of the policy of the Bush administration. We're still in Iraq, and so I think what she's trying to do is placate that group. So, I think, and we've got a big health care debate coming up, and we need to have there has to be somebody standing up for them right now on this issue.
So doesn't the Speaker of the House represent a wider constituency than just liberal San Francisco? You're saying she's trying to appeal to the liberal base?
No, I'm talking about in the Congress itself, in the Democratic caucus, there are a substantial number of liberal members of the House caucus that she needs to deal with. And I'll tell you, by the way, I think they have worked out a deal on this in conference this morning where they are going to strip out the Graham-Lieberman bill mandating that those photographs be kept secret, but it leaves open the president still being able to say, I won't release them. But still, you're talking about people dealing with different constituencies.
Trent, the president has basically come out and said, look, I have considered the argument that the release of those photos could result in U.S. soldiers getting killed. And therefore, exactly I don't think, the president says, I don't think those photos ought to come out. Nancy Pelosi wants to buck that?
It seems that way, and this is a reversal from her position just last week when she said that she didn't want the photos to come out. I think what Bob's referring to is exactly right. But how dumb is the anti-war left? I mean, this is an important fight we're talking about, but what's happening is, yet again, we're paying $100 billion to continue what Bob just said, which are, and I agree with actually, which is winning the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if the left is the anti-war left, like MoveOn.org, is being bought off by this smaller fight over photos, I'd be a little bit surprised about that. I think the bigger issue, though, is once again, just like you said, Barack Obama, the CIA director, Leon Panetta, who Nancy Pelosi served with many, many years in the Congress, the military, intelligence experts all say these photos, the release of these photos could lead to direct harm to our troops. And Nancy Pelosi, yet again, finds herself on the wrong side. She's called the CIA liars. Every time she speaks, it's good for Republicans.
Bob, it would seem, I mean, President Obama is going to be president for, almost another 4 years at the very least. She has, I mean, all of her Democratic, everybody in the House is up for re-election in less than 2 years. Is this a position that's going to help keep seats for Democrats in the House?
Let's keep something in mind here. There are a lot of people who don't believe that releasing these photos are going to do serious damage. Barack Obama happens to believe that. Nancy Pelosi needs to reflect a group in the House that, frankly, has not gotten their way on virtually anything, and they are the ones, and this is all coupled together, they are absolutely essential on health care reform. And so right now, somebody needs to be speaking up for them, and she's doing that. I would not be surprised, by the way, if Obama is not pleased that she's doing that.
Well, all right, so Trent, this is a president who came into office essentially promising to end the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan,
right.
And
that's right.
And I think Bob is saying that he hasn't exactly gone in that direction.
No, exactly, John. And I credit him for that. I mean,
so this is a bone that Nancy Pelosi wants to throw to liberal Democrats?
Well, I don't know what kind of bone it is. I mean, I think what the Democrats in Congress that have to feel worried about Nancy Pelosi aren't the far liberals. They're in safe Democratic districts. They're going to get elected irrespective of what happens. What The Democrats in Congress that are scared and should be scared are the 50 Democrats that won in districts that Bush won. They see an exploding deficit. They see 1 in 10 of Americans out of work. They see foreclosures rising, and they don't see a real change in the economy by the time 2010 rolls around. Barack Obama is not on the ballot in 2010.
Right.
The Democrats are.
Can I just correct one record here, John? The fact of the matter is that Barack Obama was for the war in Afghanistan, not in Iraq, but he was not. He didn't run against the war in Afghanistan. He just didn't. In fact, he talked about increasing
against the surge, but he ran against the surge in Iraq and later supported a surge in Afghanistan.
All right.
Well, and I credit him for that.
Bob, you got your correction.
There you go.
Bob Beckel, Trent Duffy, thank you.
Thank you.